Thanks for joining me here on the Ozzstar Cars channel. I'm Glenn, and today's fun project, we're going to replace a battery on a C7 Corvette. Now that's 2014 to 2019 model. The battery's located in the trunk on the passenger side all the way in the back. You got to pull up the carpet to get to it. It's a little different than your usual battery replacement only because on the positive side you have an extra bus terminal there with some fuses that have to be removed. It's not a big deal. I'll show you how to do it. To get your battery out, what you're going to need to do is get back here and pull the carpet up and forward. It might be a little tight in here. Just grab it on the edge, pull that up here. You'll have to hold it out of your way. Then you're going to see the styrofoam piece, which is like an insulator protector. And you got to kind of, it's a little challenging, but you got to wiggle it out of here without snapping it. Come on, hold on a second. I'm trying to do this from this side where I'm out of the way of the camera. There we go. Okay. Then you'll have this cover right here, and you're going to have to pop this cover off. This is the positive side terminal here, and that's your negative. You always want to disconnect on a battery when you're working on the car, the negative first. So this one I've already loosened. Get that out of the way. That's this. So there's our terminal, and this one's a little unique because you can't just take this off from here. You have to take this cable and disconnect that, but I'll show you that in a second. So get yourself a 10mm socket or wrench, and there's a nut right down here. Loosen up the negative side. That one popped right up. Yours might be a little tight. You'll have to wiggle it and get it off there. I just tuck it down the side. Now the other ones to note, can you get this on camera here where I'm pointing? So there's a tie down here is 10mm, and this one's 10mm. So those are gonna have to be loosened. That's your clamp to hold the battery in place. So let's do that right now. These swivels are really nice to have to get in these tight spots. So let's loosen that one. Okay, try not to lose the nut. That's what she said. All right, there's one. You could do this after you get the positive side loose, but I just do it now while the socket's on there. Then you want to swap that out for a deep. So put that on there. If you only have a hand ratchet, you could do it too. What I do is take this one right here. Hopefully you guys can see this right here. I'll take that one off first. Now make sure your negative is disconnected, like I said. Let's get that. Okay, get that loose. Get that out of the way. Okay, and I push that back that way. Let me put my socket back on. Then I'm gonna loosen this nut right here. Okay, right there. And what that will do is allow us to take this like junction doohickey off here, this terminal. Let me get this nut loose. Get this whole thing off of here. All right, so now let's take our center hold down out of the way. And there's two bolts down here that come through this hole and this hole here. So you're gonna have to line those up when the new one goes in. Now you gotta get this terminal doohickey off here, and that's on here with a clip. Let me get that next. I'm going to just take a flathead screwdriver, put it right through here, and just push to the back of the car, and that releases this terminal right here. And then we'll push this up and over. Carpet will kind of hold it. So now you should be able to pull your battery up and out, and this one doesn't have handles on it, so it's a little hard, a little tricky, only because it's so heavy. So what I want to do is I'm going to take this terminal off with my wrench, and that's just a 10mm nut right here. So let's get this up and out of the way, this piece right here. All right, so that's one less thing to worry about. Now let's try pulling it up. Ouch. Oh, almost had it. There we go. Okay, get this out, and we'll set this heavy sucker right on down. So what I want to do now, this is our new battery right here, and I went with this Duralast Platinum. This is an AGM, absorbed glass matte battery. And I take my terminal cleaner, I'll link one of these down in the description down below. And basically that's for the female end. This side here is for your male. And you just spin this around the terminal a couple times. Make sure you got a good connection with your new stuff. And then what I do is get that lead dust off of there. I'll take some dielectric grease, which is the same as silicone grease, and I just put a little bit on the terminal, and this will prevent corrosion. So put that on there. You don't need much. Basically just, it's like a grease that you just need a small or a little bit of film around there, that's all. Okay, so that's ready to go. Now we can drop it in. All right, this battery has handles, so that makes it a lot easier. Now keep in mind when you're working over here by the quarter panel that you don't have anything sharp on. You don't want to scratch the paint with your zipper or belt buckle. All right, so we got this here. What I got to do now is drop it in. Here's these two posts right here. This one here and this one here, which is our battery tie down. So that's what this is here. So you got to kind of, it's a little tricky. You got to keep these in the up position and then get it all back down in there. All right, here we go. There goes nothing. Oh boy, that got in my way already. There we go. Woo! This is fun stuff. There we go. Slowly but surely. Make sure you're not caught on any wires down here, cables. Which I am. Woo-wee. Oh, God. This is one of the hardest battery changes ever. All right, set it down in there. All right, so if you have a battery that has these straps, make sure you push them down flush. See how they sit nice and flat? If you don't have those handles, don't worry about it. The next step is you want to take your hole down, line that up with your bolts, okay? You got the two bolts with the 10mm nut washers, right like that. Here they are here. You saw me take them off. Get those started, and what you want to do is just tighten them down until you cannot move this strap, okay? You want it snug. You don't need it completely like ballistic on there, just snug where this won't slide on you and the battery is in position nice and snug. That's all it has to do. Take our impact and not going, like I said, not going ballistic, just getting it snug. Keep it centered. See how it's still moving around? We don't want that. There we go. One ugga dugga. You heard it click. There we go. Nice and tight. And now the battery's not moving. And now what I'll do is, it's opposite of the way we removed it. I'll take my terminal right here, lay that across, lock that in, get everything bolted down, and we'll get to the next step. Quick tip here, make sure you put your terminal on first. Snug that up with your wrench because it's kind of tight in here to get a socket. Get that snug. And I only have one hand here right now. My cameraman had to leave. So then take this right here and get that plate on. Make sure you tighten these nuts, get those nuts on there, and then you'll bring your cable up. This red cable right here is a better view, and that's going to go on that post right there, and you'll get that tightened down. So that's how you do that. Just make sure that this is snug. Got everything in. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over there, 6, 7. 6, 7 nuts to take off and put back on. So that's how it should look. Now I'll just take my cover right here. This just snaps on over this terminal piece here. I can't do it one-handed, but maybe I can. But anyhow, you get the idea. This goes on top here. Make sure that locks in good and snug. You want to make sure that this positive terminal is covered well. And put your styrofoam foam deal back in, the insulator, and you're all set. Put your carpet back in, tuck it in, all done. So I hope you enjoyed that little Corvette battery repair video we just saw. It's not too difficult. Just remember that that battery is very heavy, and if you don't have handles on your battery like that replacement we put in, pulling it out can be a little bit of a challenge. Now they do make straps that actually attach to the terminals, the positive negative side, a plastic strap, and then you can pull it out. They do make life a lot easier. I shouldn't have been lazy and got mine, but hey, we got it done. Keep in mind you need that 13 millimeter and a 10 millimeter socket, your ratchet or impact, to get that out. Now, where I see people having problems, guys will run into problems. They'll put the new battery in, the replacement, and go to start the car. They may have intermittent electronic issues. And what that basically comes down to is those 3 nuts that hold that bus bar on top, that fuse box or panel, whatever you want to call it. Those nuts, you may think they're tightened down and they're not. So make sure that they're torqued properly. After I tighten them down, I always try to wiggle. I do the wiggle test. They should not move. And I think that's where there's a sort of a short circuit kind of issue going on with a lot of these battery changes, DIY especially. So I'm glad you stopped by and checked out the video. Leave me your comments and questions right here down below. Smash the thumbs up button if you get a chance. Check me out on Instagram. It's Ozzstar1. Got plenty of repair videos right here on YouTube if you care to subscribe. Other than that, I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.